We are live. Lewis, Dan, whoever wants to tweet out the link on the socials, please do. Been done, yeah?
It's done. I'm doing a Tottenham one now, but it's done, yeah.
Okay.
I've lost my bloody. Oh no, I found my phone. That's right. We're good.
We got Tapping Tobes is already putting comments in the chat. It's interesting because he's already probably within shouting distance of Dan Coog. So the illusion of being like, oh, I'm just in the chat, and that's as close as I am to the action. It's hilarious.
He needs to watch his mouth, yeah. Otherwise, I'll up his rent still, yeah.
You're not even. He said you're not even comfortable in your own ends. I'm around. Okay, so the first thing. So we'll give people a few more minutes to join. Give them a couple more minutes to join the chat. You know, this is like I said in the Discord the other day, yeah. Like I'm generally not sure who is the favorite for this game. Like it could go either way for me. Like you lot have done well recently, Spurs, last 2-3 games, Gareth Bale, remontada, whatnot. Arsenal fans, you're definitely more threatening than when you met them earlier in the season. But how good you are, I guess this is a pretty good test of that, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, I'd say you could say that, you know. All right, cool. Let's get into it. So, good evening and welcome to another Touchline Fracker fight card. This evening I'm joined by the boys from Touchy Gooners, Dan Coogs and Lou Bob. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Brap.
Wow. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Honestly, I had a bet on with myself how soon Lewis would embarrass me in front of my friend, and it was literally 30 seconds.
Sai ain't your friend, bro.
Cool. And on the other end, the Touchline Hotspurs lads, Ohio and Sai. How you doing, gentlemen?
I'm all right, man. We're blessed. Obviously, fresh off going to war with Robbie, so we got energy to carry forward, man.
A lot of bodies being buried this Friday. Is that what you're telling me, Ohio?
Bro, just prepare the spliffs, bro. Prepare them.
Hella spliffs, bro.
Interesting. Haven't you guys already been put in a spliff by Robbie? So are you guys trying to get yourself out of a spliff? What's going on here? Me and Dan are just about to light the spliff. That's what we're doing. Robbie's already put you in the spliff. We're just going to set the lighter. That's all we have to do.
If that's how you want to receive it, brother, that's okay.
That's okay. That's okay, man. Yeah, in between your gang signs and whatever else you got going on, it's absolutely fine. But obviously, the reason we're joined here today is because we got one of them North London derbies coming up, haven't we? So that's this Sunday at 4:30. Your old Spurs versus Arsenal. Let's start. So we got a scroll on the.
That's a mad doorbell, bro. I can't lie, man. You need to change it.
A bit of personality. What do you want me to do, man? So I want to ask to you guys. And I'll discuss it. I mean, Sai, you've been doing a sterling job on the Discord. Who has the power going in? So obviously, if you're talking football heritage, you got the boys Dan Coogs, Lou Bob, who basically doesn't matter whatever Spurs achieve until they actually win something, they don't give a shit. And you got the boys Ohio and Sai. Like you guys were good, like fucking hell, when I was in school. And to be honest, right now you ain't doing shit. So who has the power? I'm gonna start with you, Sai. Because you have a way with your words. So, yeah, in your opinion, who has the power?
So you touched on that quite nicely. No matter what we do, our noisy neighbours are always there, like Kanye West at the award show. Get on the stage all drunk and shit. We had the best cup run of all time. It's like nobody cares. Nobody cares. You're not the benchmark anymore. You once were, credit to you. But those days have been passing. It's been what? How many years since you won your last title? You're not those guys anymore. So in the time where we've ascended, you've descended to a point where all you have to look forward to is a potential cup run, maybe a cup win that you lot aren't even happy with. So I don't understand it. I don't think it's really a question. If we were to draw out a map of like what team is the glamour place at the minute in North London? London is always going to be Spurs at the minute.
Swear down.
Interesting. Very
100%.
interesting. Mariah wasn't lying when he said you have a way with words. What? Not noisy and drunk from all the fucking trophies we've been. Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
I'm not WKDs from your cups, mate.
Hold on.
No campus in there.
I was about to say, we're not letting this descend 5 minutes in, yeah? So, Dan Cooks, you give your thoughts. Then I'll go to Ohio. Then I'll go to Lewis. I'm not having it any other way. Anyone tries to disrupt that order, they're getting you. Go on, Dan Cooks.
It's just proper funny, sir. Like, even if we use your analogy, yeah, your Kanye West is shouting from the sidelines of someone else won. No one cares about what Kanye has to say. But you guys actually, you don't win awards, you don't win trophies, so it doesn't work. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you can say, oh yeah, all of this, that, and the other, about, oh yeah, we're not the standard anymore, but you're not the standard either. Do you get what I'm saying? You're a nothing club. You've always been a nothing club, and until you win trophies, you know, like, that's not going to change. You can have this thing about, yeah, you're better than Arsenal, but as you said, we've regressed. We're not the benchmark anymore. We're finishing 8th and 10th, and yet all you can shout home about is finishing above us in the league. That's all you can put in your trophy cabinet. You finally got a nice new stadium, over 10 years after we did, and you just about matched us for the size of it. Do you get what I'm saying? You're behind us. You're doing your things evolution-wise. You're just catching up now. Do you get what I'm saying? We've been there. We've been at the top. Yeah. And so, like, you can say all of this about, you know, power shift. You've been finishing above us, this, that, and the other. But what do you have to show for it, bro? You've had the most successful 5-6 years of your Spurs in your entire life. And what does success mean for you? We've still won more trophies than you in that time. Is that not sad for you?
No.
Okay, that's the question. Hold on, Si. The natural order thing just suggests that Ohio responds to Dan Cougar's inflammatory remarks. So, Ohio, sir, the floor is yours, sir.
Okay, so naturally, you know, I'm not going to pretend not having any trophies is great. You know, that would be egregious, as certain man on Munga like to say. But you know, I think what I find very interesting is, you know, growing up, it was always like I hated going to school after the North London derby. Do you know what I mean? And it's just funny how every couple of years it went from we're talking about titles, you lot can't talk to us. Then it turned into, we get top 4 all the time, you don't get top 4. And then it turned into, it was funny, Dan, about 67 seconds ago, you started saying how us finishing above you is a trophy, when I'm pretty sure there was like a mini Arsenal national holiday surrounding Arsenal finishing above Tottenham. Like you guys named it, saying Tottenham's Day, which in my humble opinion is the saddest thing I've ever witnessed a football fan club do. So I think it's just very interesting. Like, we can all agree on the regression and the decline, but it's just funny how it went from you can't talk to us who win titles, you can't talk to us who finish 4th, you can't talk to us at St. Tottenham's Day, and now it's, oh, you've got nothing to show for it because you finish above us. I just find that particular instance very interesting. Yes, of course, we should, like, there's an element of we definitely should and could have won some trophies by now, but it's a progression. There's always progression, you know what I'm saying? We've hit certain objectives along the way. We've missed a couple of objectives, absolutely. But we're coming, man. Don't worry. In fact, we're coming for other people. We're ahead of you, man. Now it's fine, but we're coming for other people.
Cool. So you mentioned the St. Tottenham Day thing, and you said that's the most embarrassing thing that you've ever witnessed. I will ask you a question. So you're playing the Carling Cup final against Manchester City, and you've actually got memorabilia made for a game you have yet to win. Isn't that more embarrassing than St. Tottenham?
So as we said, Sai has a way with words. I myself have an English A level, and if you check what I said that that's the most embarrassing I've witnessed from a fan base. Our fan base did not create these keychains. That was our merchandise.
So okay. I'm dealing with a man who has a way with his words. I respect this. I respect it. But I'll pass the mic to Lewis. He's kept quiet. Look at him. He's scratching his face. He's chomping at the bit. Like 9 minutes 27 seconds, the longest he's kept quiet in his life. So yeah, Lewis, what are your thoughts? We were talking about who's got the power in North London, who's ruling the roost.
I think every rational football fan knows that, don't they? I mean, they talk about progression, slower progression than fucking end on belly and transition, isn't it? Fucking hell. What's all this about? It's a load of fucking shit. What are you on about, Ohio, eh? What are you on about? Dan asked you a specific question. Is it not sad? Does it not sadden you? I saw tears come in your eyes when he said it.
It's the lighting, man. I got a new light. It's the lighting.
But the ring light, yeah?
Yeah, no, it's a little circle thing. Pretty, man.
Okay, interesting. Anyway, yeah, the power stuff. Look, the power stuff doesn't mean anything until Spurs really put us in our place. Then what does it matter? What does it matter? Like, yes, we've regressed, but what have Spurs done? They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything of note. They tried to bring in Jose in, who's everyone's washed up goods. Everyone's washed up goods. They brought in Jose. This is what Dan was saying. They're constantly on a catch-up thing, like, but they're just not catching up with anyone. And you know, it is a sad little life. Like, at least we've regressed and we win things. You know, we can celebrate things. You talk about noisy neighbors, yeah, it's because we're too busy celebrating trophies we've won. Sorry, you guys don't have anything to celebrate. I really am. Like, it must be harsh. Like, it must be hard for you guys. But you know, it is what it is. I don't have any empathy for you.
I'm glad.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. Obviously, I'm a Manchester United fan, so I'm very much speaking from a position of a sleeping giant, as you would. I think the term's used quite a bit, but I think Manchester United are one of the few teams that define a sleeping giant. I can't quite tell who does have a grip of North London. You guys were discussing it on the Discord the other day. Amazing stadium in a shithole. Arsenal, what they every time they build a stadium, it's in a different area from the last place that they built it. Also, your club is the only club that's not named after an area. That was Sai versus Danku. That was interesting. That was a bit of geography, which, you know, we can get that on the Discord. But I want a definitive kind of answer here. So when we say who has the power, I want you guys to factor in everything. So on the pitch stuff, off the pitch stuff, recent successes. Who is the power in North London? I'll go with you, Sai. I'll go around the room, but I'll start with Sai, and then Dan Coogs, then Ohio, and then Lewis. So, Sai, who is the power in North London right now, and why?
So, as far as I'm concerned, the bread and butter of your campaign every single season is going to be the league, and I can't remember the last time these men finished above us. The cup competitions, as far as I'm concerned, domestically, you go out to win those when you're winning other big honours as a supplementary piece to cement yourself in the upper echelons of world football. Neither one of us are doing that. So it's all well and good us talking about winning domestic trophies and winning these cup competitions, but on the world stage, on the European and continental stage, Arsenal aren't really a factor at the minute. Within the last 3 seasons, we've been in a final. So the way I see it, it will be a bit redundant to say that Arsenal still have the power, given the fact that they're struggling to even finish above us on home soil.
Cool. So so from your perspective, the Spurs right now, you're the power in North London, yeah?
Yeah.
Dan Coogs, same question.
Yeah,
keep your honor, because a lot of people have been talking about your trading card, comparing it to Forex traders, saying you're the guy who's trying to flog PS5. You're the guy who's trying to
ACN boy. That's don't worry about it.
You're the guy who's trying to flog PS5s under the guise of Forex. So to shed that image, keep your honor. Who is the power in North London and why?
I'm always honourable, to be honest. I leave the shameless stuff to my counterpart over here, Lewis. But for me, I think Sai is right, man. You look at the league, you look at, you know, who finishes above, because at the end of the day, you know, the league table doesn't lie, etc., all of this stuff. So I think, you know, Spurs have been better than us for a number of years. But I think when you talk about power, you know, you talk about the size of the club, you talk about pulling power, you talk about, you know, just, I guess, football heritage. And you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, you know, all of these European Super League conversations, all of these conversations that big clubs have, you know, Spurs are not at that table yet, you know, because as we said before, you know, they just don't have that history. They don't have that heritage. They don't have the trophies. Do you get what I'm saying? So if we're talking about power, where does a player want to go? If both Arsenal and Spurs are offered to you at the net side by side, no one's picking Spurs. I'm sorry, no one's picking Spurs. If it's an up and coming player who has promise in his career, Martin Odegaard, it was hilarious, tapping Tobes, yeah, put out this tweet saying, "Oh, Odegaard, someone who someone who we should be looking about.
Do you know what kills me? Tapping terms is within earshot, and if he decides to start shouting on this live, we're screwed. We're absolutely screwed. So what I'll ask you to do is to not mention him by name because you're not trying to have the live go wayward. Please continue, Dan.
But you see what I mean? Like, but the thing is, a player like Odegaard, Spurs ain't even on his mind. They don't cross his mind because Spurs are not at that table. Spurs without Champions League football, you could never, ever get a player like Thomas Partey to come and join you. You couldn't. It's impossible. You don't have the clout. And that's what I think the real power, and that's what the real power shows. You look, Mariah, you mentioned Man United, sleeping giant, etc. Right? Do you think a club like Spurs would have been able to pull Pogba in there without Champions League football? No, it couldn't happen, right? So look at the players that we've signed over the past 5 years without Champions League football. They're players that you couldn't dream of.
Name some names.
Aubameyang would never come to your club. He would never have come to your club from Dortmund. Partey would never have come to your club. Do you get what I'm saying? So these kind of pools, these kind of players, you can't dream of pulling them. So if you want to talk about power, Arsenal are way bigger than Spurs. Simple.
Okay, so Sai's saying Spurs, Dan Coogs is saying Arsenal. Ohio, thoughts?
I want to be a little bit annoying because I'm not sure I like the term "who has the power" just because it's such a multifaceted question. I think.
Hold on, before you continue, I saw a conversation earlier on the timeline about maths and English. Some guys saying they love a bit of maths, some guys saying they love a bit of English, some guys saying they love a bit of both. Elijah shouting out Mugger. Check that out. Ohio, what angle are you coming with? Because I don't want you to question the essence of the question. You're acting like a philosophy master student. You question the essence of the question. Just give me an answer, bro.
I'll give you an answer. For the record, I'd like both maths and English. But okay, so with the power, like I said, it would be remiss to look past Arsenal's successes. The facts are our cabinet is looking a bit stale in comparison. We've got more cobwebs than trophies. That's not a lie. But I have to disagree with Dan where it's a case of, if you're presented with Arsenal and Tottenham, it's a clear-cut conversation that you'd only go to Arsenal. I don't think that's entirely accurate. I think when it comes to pulling power, I think it's different because, a lot of it comes down to who your manager is and who your manager was. Like, I think, yes, Arsenal were winning certain trophies and certain players grew up watching Arsenal in this view that they had. But I think a lot of the better players they've signed is more down to the Wenger heritage rather than Arsenal themselves, if anything. That's my personal opinion. But yeah, so I have to massively disagree with it's a cut and dry conversation. Like we could never bag someone like Partey if we weren't in Champions League. I'm going to disagree with that one. But yeah, I think are Arsenal bigger? Yeah, that's not a lie. But are we better? Absolutely. So who has the more power as of right now? Tottenham Hotspur.
So, Sai, the Spurs fan, that said Spurs. Dan Coogs, the Arsenal fan, that said Arsenal. Ohio, the Spurs fan, that said Spurs. And we're ending with Lewis. And if it ends in a tie, I'll have to be the tiebreaker. So, Lewis, the same question. I'm hoping you don't take the philosophy PhD angle, master's angle. Who has the power in North London?
Mariah, you already know the vibes. When people are on this whole philosophy stuff, semantics, you know what they're trying to do. Like, they're trying to worm their way out of a conversation, out of a discussion. Like, it's a simple question. No. We don't know what enunciate means, so you can't do it. You can't do it, Ohio, right? You can't do it, all right? Anyway, the simple answer to the question is Arsenal. It has to be. You have to go with history. You have to go with heritage. Yeah, like Dan made some really pertinent points about, players who would come to the club whilst we're out of the Champions League. We've been shocking for the last 3-4 years, but we can still attract top names. Like, someone like Thomas Partey is one of the best midfielders in the world. How the hell have we managed to score him? Like, not many teams can do that. When it comes to this Super League, Spurs aren't even being invited to the cookout. You know what? They're hearing about it through rumors. And,
you guys are getting invited through nepotism. What you on about?
No, listen, you aren't even invited, bro. You aren't even invited through
nepotism.
We're talking about power.
It's called clout. Yeah? It's called clout, Simon. It's called clout. We're a big name into this team. You get me?
Power is. Power doesn't relinquish overnight, bro.
When you're sitting on the board and giving you man little backhand invites, man. Stop it.
Okay. I've got a question for you, Lewis. Wenger, etc. You haven't really been a factor for about 15, 16 years. Really, if we're
in what? A factor in what?
A factor in being a winner. Like you haven't really won anything of note. Like you've won FA Cups. Well, I say FA Cups. I did my hand as if I was going to say other sorts of trophies, but it's been FA Cups and Community Shields. How long is that equity going to last? Do you think there's a myth around Arsenal surrounded by the fact that you were good when we were all in school, but you've actually been shit for almost as long as you've been good?
Hey, do you know what, Mariah? Do you know what? Yeah,
half of your life you've been shit.
You know what, Mariah? We're not talking generally, yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? We're talking in comparison to Spurs, yeah.
I thought that's what the debate was.
I'm just trying to understand. Obviously, you've got the throwback jersey on. Obviously, David Seaman, sick advert, 80s retro, and that.
What can Spurs fans wear? What can they wear?
Wait, if we're talking kits, you don't have more kits this season.
A Ledley King shirt or something. What?
Stop it, man.
I'm a Ledley King fan. Thierry Henry said some nice things about him, so I'm not going to get into it. But
I think that answers the question itself, doesn't it? Our players giving their players gone.
Look, what I'm trying to ascertain is essentially how long are you guys going to live off the glory of a time that's been so long ago? 15 years is a long time. Okay. I go back 15 years, Mariah. Yeah,
but
I was rocking Nokias.
The thing is,
Mariah.
You're getting off topic here, Mariah. You're getting off topic.
Am I cooking? Am I cooking?
You might be 100%. But then if we do the same thing, and we do it for Spurs, right? They got one League Cup in my whole lifetime. I think maybe 2 League Cups. Maybe they got something in '95. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So if we're doing a comparison, I think it was. We're talking about 15 years for Arsenal winning the league title. So that was 2 years old when Spurs won their last league title.
So hold on, before we do comparison,
if we're talking about living off clout, living off past glories, still Spurs, you don't have nothing to bring to the table.
Dan, that's fantastic. But before you compare us, do you want to answer Mariah's question about how long is that going to stand up? Because I think that was the original question before we.
Mariah put the question to me. The simple answer is, as long as we outdo you, that's as long as it lasts. Yeah.
So I need a number. I want a number.
Well, you lot are gonna have to win a trophy for us to fucking make that relevant, aren't you? Until you win a trophy, I don't know when you're gonna win a trophy. You tell me. When are you gonna win a trophy? When are you gonna win a trophy? That's you answer that question, and we have the answer to the equation. All right. You like maths so much. Let's do the equation. All right.
So this season, you've heard it. Book it. This season.
What are you winning? What are you winning?
You will see.
Wait, no, but tell me what you're winning. I need to know the trophy.
I said a trophy. I didn't say which one. No, because I'm not allowed to do semantics, so you can't do semantics. Man said, when's the trophy season going to end? Yeah, he said which one. He didn't say which one. He said A, which is singular.
But now Dan is asking you which one, so why not answer it?
Is everyone allowed to do semantics? I just want to make sure because I can
ask semantics. Is it asking you a question?
I just want to make sure. Am I allowed as well?
Are you going to say the League Cup? All
right. You are allowed as well.
I'm allowed as well. We're going to win the Europa League.
Right, but that's interesting. If you're going to win the Europa League,
stick talk. So, Lewis has said Arsenal. Dan Cougar said Arsenal. Ohio has said Spurs. Saya says Spurs. So that leaves me as a tie. I hate to have to be the person with the deciding decision while I'm a host on 2 other club pods. But, it's Mariah time. Who is the dominant power in North London? It's a difficult question. Arsenal fans are doing history FC. Like, yeah, you was good. And we came up on that. And I see it on recomp every single fucking week. That's great. But Spurs have got Harry Kane bagging now. You got man comparing Rooney. That's for another pod, by the way.
We've got Oba bagging now. Bagging now. So
he's a good you. Receding hairline though. That factors in. The receding hairline factors in.
Kane's got receding hairline as well.
It's not Oba receding.
A couple man on this live have got receding hairlines. We're not gonna name names. Who is the power in North London right now?
Come on, answer the question, Mariah. Fucking hell.
Spurs. I'm giving it to Spurs. I'm giving it to
Easy
Spurs.
money.
Yeah, I'm giving it to Spurs.
That's fine. Take that one. I don't give a shit.
I'll give it to Spurs. It was a difficult decision. 2 bumps.
Right, man, it's
Remember
like-
bum fights? Remember bum fights back in the day? That's basically what I was left with. But at that point, I've gone with Spurs.
What's it based on, basically? So the fact is that it's based on that Arsenal used to be powerful. Yeah,
used to be powerful. I don't quite.
And still win more than Spurs. Still attract better players than Spurs. But
if you attract better players, why can't you finish above us, man? That's a bum point, man. Get out of here. That's some stupidness.
We also attract some very shit players as well. So
yeah, so it balances out, man. You've got
it definitely balances
the best
out.
players, man.
Okay, so I've said what I've said, and we're gonna go on to the next section. Lewis, behave yourself, yeah, and I'll chat to you offline. So the next section is basically rated or not. So basically, I want you guys to be nice to each other for a bit. I know it's hard. I know you guys put me through a fucking topical discussion. Size a master. Obviously, I mess with Sai on the football side. I mess with Sai on the basketball side. I seen him put man in a blender over like the most topical topics. But he had Dan Coog's head spinning yesterday on that. He had Dan Coog's head spinning yesterday on that Discord live. So the topic we're going to discuss, I want you guys to be nice to each other. So we're talking about first we're going to start with opposition players we rate, and then we're going to talk about opposition players we overrate. I want you guys to be nice to each other. Then you can get into the shit talking. Then we'll do our combined 11s. So we're talking about opposition players that we rate. I'm going to come to you first, Lewis. We'll talk about Spurs players that you rate. Who's the first player that comes to mind and why?
Behave.
First player that I rate. Well, obviously, I was gonna say something obvious like Harry Kane. Good lad. He scored quite a few goals over the last few years, but hasn't. I will save the slander to the next part. But I'll go Harry Kane. He's a good lad, isn't he? He's a good lad. He might break the Premier League goal scoring record if he stops taking holidays every season. But. Yeah, Harry Kane.
Yours was Harry Kane, yeah? Okay.
He couldn't resist.
Do you know they say being evil makes you lose more hair? So be careful, my brother.
Well, I'll end up like you then, yeah?
You will. I'm an evil guy when it comes to you, man. I'm telling you.
I've been evil for like half a decade, so that makes it make sense.
Saitan.
Ohio. You take a more class. I see you as a classy guy. Lewis, he lives in the mud. Like, he lives in the mud. So
I literally do.
Again, rated or not, what Arsenal players are you looking across at? I'll tip my hat to him. Which ones?
Even though his injury record has taken a turn for the worse this year, I really do like Thomas Partey as a player. I think he's brilliant.
That's interesting. You mentioned Thomas Partey as a player. Objectively, I'm asking you a question. He got to Atletico after they won a league title. He's left, and they're looking comfy for a league title.
Are they looking comfy for it? Are they looking comfy for it?
No.
Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? You're nasty.
Lewis and Dan Cougs, let me say what I have to say.
This is like the 5th time I've heard you say.
I love this guy.
Lewis, I've had to mute you. That's what you forced me to. So Ohio, you say Partey. I'm happy with you to say Partey, but I want to give you context. Atletico's won a league title against the odds. He's joined the team. Nothing in his years of being one of the best central midfielders in the league, in the world, according to Lewis. He's left. They're now, again, looking good for a league title. You can still name him, but I want you to factor that into your decision making.
I will factor that in. I was going to say Saka, but I know Dan is still hurting from the Photoshop Saka photo that I tweeted the other day of the account. If you know, you know. But no, it's just, I think Partey, he's just obviously very, very technical. I'm glad he's around now after, Touchline blew up the whole commentators coming with the PMP stuff. Commentators, they've been behaving themselves when Partey's playing naturally. But yeah, technically very gifted, very, very nice on the ball, very good passing range. I think him and Ndombele would be the perfect double pivot in a 4-2-3-1. I think that would be unreal. And even though there was all banter about Partey being like 40% fit and running off the pitch when we scored, why is Tobes telling us he's topless? What?
he left his YouTube turned in on my laptop, innit? Yeah.
No, wait, no. I was doing this thing. I was like, rah, Ohio speech is getting to him that much, yeah? Man is taking off the whole thing. Oh,
Mariah, I've got nothing left.
Okay, all right, I'll leave you where I found you. Dan Cougs. So this is the part where you're nice. Lewis has said Harry Kane. I want you to think outside the box. What players for your opposition do you have time for?
Yeah, let me think. So obviously, I think another one, obvious one is obviously Son. I think Son is a player that I think Arsenal scouted heavily before he joined Tottenham. They decided against making the move. So I think that's a player. That's a player that I've always admired. I think ever since he's been at Spurs. I know his first season was a bit shaky, but since then I think he's probably been one of the best wingers in the league.
So Heung-min Son, cool. And last but not least, Sai. Looking across at the red side of North London, what player do you rate?
Ohio already said Partey, so I'll go the shameless route and say Saka.
Saka. Saka. What about Saka do you rate?
I don't think he'll stay there long term. First and foremost, I rate that. It's good decision making. Head screwed on right. He's showing the qualities. Obviously, these men get a bit wet behind the ears every time his name comes up and they start screaming, "Star boy!" Singing fucking The Weekend and shit. But
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna say Lewis, just say Lewis, innit? But continue.
I mean, Lewis's taste in players isn't very good. Ceballos and that, no, not having that. But yeah, I'd say Saka. He's a good prospect.
Oh, Saka. Great. No, that's fine. That's more than enough. So now you can be nasty to each other again. So players for the opposition who you feel are overrated. I'm back to you, Lewis. Lou Bob in the corner. Somebody, you gave your opinion on Neves versus Tielemans earlier, and somebody said stick to your corner bets. I feel that energy. I actually relate to that, and if you could post a corner bet this weekend, that would be fucking great. But between now and then, a Spurs player you feel that is overrated. Am I the only one who can't hear Lewis?
Yeah, you're on mute, brother. I mean,
what about now? It's because Mariah muted me. Anyway,
Dan Hughes had the presence of mind to unmute himself, but continue.
For me, I think it has to be Ndombele. From when a player's greatest characteristic and accolade in a Spurs shirt is the amount of 90 minutes he's completed, I think that says a lot. So, they were getting on to Partey about completing 90 minutes, but Partey's like been injured half the season. He still completed more 90 minutes than Ndombele this season. Who's there?
Hold on, Lewis. Is that factual or are you just talking?
I just want to say, I just want to know who they.
He definitely completed more 90 minutes than Ndombele.
It's factual.
Okay, continue.
It's factual. So, I think it has to be Ndombele, man. A player who can't complete 90 minutes on the football pitch is a bit of a liability. And I also feel like when Spurs chase the game and in the second halves of games, Spurs are a lot better off without Ndombele on the pitch because he just gets knackered, has a heart attack after 60 minutes, can't chase the ball, can't get the ball back, and there's no coincidence that in the second half of games when Spurs go behind, they find it really difficult to come back and win games and get control of football games. And I think a lot of that has to do with Ndombele. I think was it against Chelsea? Which game was it? One of the big games, and they took Ndombele off, and they looked miles better when Ndombele came off. They actually put Lamela in the 10, I think it was. And, what would you know? They finally got the ball back yeah, and started creating some attacks. But they blame it on Jose and, Jose's negative system, which I'm sure has, something to do with it. But the facts are, players come in that position that Ndombele was playing and have done a better job when chasing the game than Ndombele has. So, yeah, personally, I think he's a bit overrated. I like the player, but, he needs to do a bit more conditioning work.
Can I?
Okay, cool.
Right,
before you are naturally next, Ohio. It's part of your rebuttal going to be to shut down Lewis, then give your player who you feel is overrated.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
Lewis just seemed very certain on one particular fact. I'm a man of substance. I'm a man of accuracy when words are used. Lewis, I believe you said that you were sure. You were asked, in fact, you made a statement. You were asked, you clarified that Thomas Partey has completed more 90 minutes than Tanguy Ndombele. Is that correct?
In the Premier League, yeah.
Oh, whoa, hold on. Before,
why would he
90 minutes? I just wanted to know, before it was 90 minutes, now it's the Prem, which is it?
Yeah, it's the Premier League. That's the stat.
Okay. It was originally, you just said 90 minutes in general, because overall it's this.
Sorry, Ohio. I didn't clarify.
Yeah, Ohio is correct. You originally did say 90 minutes, but now you're giving more context as the Premier League.
I was asked for context, so I provided it.
No, I just asked what you said, not for context, but that's fine. That's okay.
Okay, but despite that, I feel like you had a body, Ohio. You've had to relinquish that body. But anyway, Arsenal player who you feel is overrated.
And this isn't me trying to be sly at Lewis. I don't want to turn this into the Lou Bob versus Ohio show, but I think
I'd watch that show, to be honest.
I do honestly think that what's his name? Danny Ceballos is probably the most overrated, one of, if not the most overrated Arsenal player at current. Like I don't take into account the Xhaka stands, because I feel like Touchy Gooners, despite you being the hot block, I feel like there is a general feeling of sense within the camp, and generally, you guys respect the fact that Xhaka is not, number 34 is not a good player. But I don't understand where the Danny Ceballos ratings come from. Before Lewis starts or thinks in his head, yes, he's better than Harry Winks. That's not an accolade. That's fine. I just want to throw that one out there before someone starts. I can see Lewis is smiling. He knew it was coming.
He's better than Højbjerg. Okay. That is sorely.
That's that English A-level comment into hand. Like you got it however long ago you got it. You've used it for whatever you've used it for. But right now, there in that pause, it's justified itself. The years you spent getting that A-level right there in that pause, of mice and men, etc., it's justified itself. But yeah, continue before I hand over to Dan Coogs.
Danny Ceballos, I just feel like I don't think he's shit by any means. I just don't think he's anything special. I think on a good day, he's like his 10 out of 10 is like most better players 8 out of 10s. Like I wouldn't swap him for anyone in my midfield, to be honest. Like, because at least
would you swap him for Sissoko?
I was about to get onto that, and the only reason I wouldn't, like, Danny Ceballos is technically clear of Sissoko. Let's not get that twisted at all. But I'd rather take Sissoko. Like Sissoko is the epitome of PMP. Like he's pure PMP. He has a role. He's got a job. He might be French, but he's an African destroyer. That's what he does. Ceballos, he just has a bit of hairspray, looks nice, does a couple turns, loses the ball, and
quick question. You've got your PMP players in the Prem, different percentages of PMP. If we say Mikel Antonio is 90% PMP, 10% footballer, what is Sissoko's percentage?
97% PMP.
Oh, he's got more PMP relative to ability than Mikel Antonio.
Absolutely.
I host a Patreon segment called Pogba Watch, which requires me to watch every game Paul Pogba plays within the 2020-21 season. So I've stumbled across a France game, and I stumbled across Sissoko. The only way I can really describe him is a plumber disguised as a footballer. So, continue, Ohio. But I want you to finish. And I'll go to Dan Coogs.
So yeah, I think I've said all I can say with Danny Ceballos. Like he's not a bad player. I don't think he's shit by any means. I want to be very, very clear on that. But I wouldn't have him anywhere combined 11. I remember Arsenal fans getting a bit gassed that they might potentially sign him on a permanent. Sign him on a permanent. You'll do Madrid a favour, to be honest. Yeah, just don't really rate him, to be honest.
Might give Madrid some money to sign your left back, eh?
Okay, let's go. They don't actually have to sign him. This is a take him back. Listen, I'm seeing the comments, Mariah, that German DZ's us a few times. What's Mariah drink? I'm drinking Maker's Mark. Listen, you see a premium bourbon, Maker's Mark, yeah? Sponsor that out. Yeah. We're going to get into it. So, obviously, naturally, I've gone from Lewis, who did you say was overrated? One more time, just so the people hear.
Tanguy
and Dembele. Ohio has said Ceballos is overrated. I'm now going to come to Dan Coogs. Which Spurs player do you feel is overrated?
No, first thing though, the fact that Lewis had to get guys in the comments to Google the stats just shows that he won already. You get what I'm saying?
No, he didn't win. You know why he didn't win, Dan Coogs? Because he was lying.
He actually wasn't lying. Let me clarify. I actually wasn't lying. When originally,
you're not gonna touch Touchy Gooners.
He didn't know.
Listen, you're not gonna touchy Gooners filibuster me. He was lying.
I wasn't lying. A few weeks ago, he
was lying. So
a few weeks ago, the stat was right.
As of now, the time we're recording the live, Tanguy in Ndombele's had more 90 minutes completed overall than Partey, and more overall in the Premier League. So
good for him. He should get fucking player of the season for that.
Yeah. Good for him.
No one said it was an achievement. We just want to know that you were wrong.
Good for him, but bad for you. You know, the only way that it really works when you try and pam one of the Touchline Media Group with stats is if your stats are accurate. It means nothing if we actually deep dive into those stats and you are incorrect. So you're wrong, Lewis. Ohio was right.
Yeah.
You were wrong.
Basically, the stat only
got yourself
came
into a corner, my guy.
Apparently, the stat only came true last weekend. So yeah, I didn't do my due diligence, did I? I didn't do my due diligence. But the facts are, it's kind of embarrassing that Partey's been injured all fucking season, and Ndombele's, I think, got one more 90 than Partey has.
It doesn't matter. You
want
wrong.
to double check if it's one more?
I think it's one more. I think it is.
It's two. You're backing yourself into the corner.
It's two more. It's two more.
Hold on.
Brilliant.
Lewis, you were wrong. You still post Ozil W's in the Touchline group.
No, I don't.
So you didn't post a Willian has more assists.
Oh! You said Ozil W. You said that's a Willian W.
I said you've W'd on Ozil because you have the Ozil. So you tried to stunt on Ohio A-level GCSE. Keep that in mind. Touchline Media Group, shout us out. Like the video if you're watching and you haven't already. Come on, man, do the right thing. Lewis, you tried to use Tanguy and Dembele against Partey thing. It was incorrect. The chat is going absolutely wild. I had to bring that to the fore. You were wrong. It doesn't matter if it happened a week ago. It doesn't matter literally if Spurs finished the game 2 minutes before this live started, and that was the game that then made Ndombele have more completed 90 minutes than Partey. He's got more completed 90 minutes. So when we're on the Discord, which will happen this weekend, especially for this game, which we're having the live chat for, remember that when you try and drop your Ndombele propaganda. I'm now aware. And that's your problem.
What? It doesn't change any of the facts that I said in my statement. Any of the other facts. It don't change any of the other facts.
We're not talking about.
And when he is on the pitch for 90 minutes, what's he doing for the last 20 minutes?
We're not.
Lewis,
objective drivel, mate.
Lewis,
that's what he's up to.
Lewis, he's vibes in. But the point is, I've been with you making the Ndombele 90-minute jokes, but you have
it was right up until last week.
It doesn't matter. It's no longer right. So when you try and clamor,
right, can we move on? Fucking hell. Can we move on? Bloody hell. We're 45 minutes in. We ain't even fucking got to the combined 11 yet. I went having dinner.
When you come looking for me to back you on the Ndombele agenda,
I would never look for you to come back me on the Ndombele agenda.
Remember, you said that on the line.
You can't be trusted.
Lewis, you said that on the live. Remember that on the Discord, yeah? Remember that on the Discord.
We all know your relationship with young French centre midfielders and how you backtrack on them and turn on them. So listen, we don't need you doing that with Ndombele as well, all right? The Spurs fans don't need that either. So can we move?
Okay, I've just muted you because I don't know what you're talking about. Dan Cougs, which Spurs player do you feel is overrated?
Yeah, do you know that I'm glad we had that little sidetrack because I was struggling to think of players for Spurs who are like actually rated like that high. To be fair, so I think this one is probably who? How do I say the name? Yeah, Højbjerg.
Oilberger.
Okay, that's interesting. No, Dan Cougs, that's an interesting name you've mentioned because we were talking about. There's a pod I hosted. You were part of the panel. We were talking about a team of the Premier League season up to the point, and you, unprovoked, mentioned Højbjerg. So to now mention him in that pod and now be on a combined pod with the Spurs lads and then mention him again, it's crazy. So I need you to explain yourself.
Moving a bit local.
I will explain myself. I think you know. Up to a point, you know, you can credit a player, and then you can look at them a bit more. I think only a fool would keep the same opinion, having evaluated more information. Do you get what I'm saying? So, like this guy's trying to at me, and I'll ask you to check the dates of those WhatsApps and when the last time I said anything positive about a young Oilberger was. Do you get what I'm saying? So for me, I think this guy, just because of the way I think people were getting high and giving him probably a bit too much praise for my liking.
You say people, I need you to name names and also include yourself in those names who were praising him.
Yeah, I give praise where I give credit where it's due. I give credit where it's due. But when people are now saying, do you know what? Like he's been better than certain other names, certain other DMs that I've seen this season. You know, I can't back it. I can't back it at all. So I think Højbjerg, yeah, he's definitely one that I'm going to put as definitely overrated for me.
Højbjerg, okay, cool. And listen, last but not least, shout out my boy Sai Full of Soul, Courtside Fracas, Touchline Media Group. Check us out. Like the video if you have not liked it already. And if you're not signed to the Discord, sign up now because you're going to have Lewis there, hairline receding, that's calm. Ohio, do-rag. Dan Cougs, retro, and Sai, I'm guessing in the Spurs gear.
And Mariah double denim.
Fucking is it denim? It's fucking denim. Denim. Shout out. Right, this is light. I got this off the rack. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's that? Lyland Scott? Yeah. What's that? Lyland Scott? Yeah. Straight from Z and Co. Yeah. Say nothing, Mariah. Say nothing.
Lewis. This is Ralph Lauren.
Oh, Ralph Lauren. All right, say nothing.
I love you. I love you. You love me, brother, man. Make sure you turn up for my locker.
Ralph Lauren was in style around the same time Spurs won a league title. Like,
yeah, it's designers. It's not about being in style. I'm talking fashion with Lou Bob. Anyway, Sai, what Arsenal player do you feel is overrated?
I'm not one for pussyfooting, innit? So I'm coming for these man's king. I hear a lot of stuff about elite strikers, about great strikers and all of this shit. But midway through a season, my man has 9 goals. The Gabonese Jamie Vardy got the big bag and stopped playing for these men. What's going on there? What's going on? The worst thing about it, though, is if he didn't go to HD Cuts or whoever he goes to give him that lineup and that, he'd be looking like Lewis, bruv. What is this? You can't rate a striker that's got that hairline, man. I'm not with it. Get out of here. Whack it off.
What's Harry Kane's hairline said? I don't understand. Like, what
quite healthy.
What's that even talking about?
Quite healthy.
Don't worry about that. He's not for the culture, man. He's not for the culture. He's for them other man, isn't it? He just bags the goal.
Okay, so we did overrated.
Overrated because of his hairline, apparently. Brilliant analysis, side. This is exactly what everyone has tuned in for. Wonderful, brilliant.
Hold on. So Lewis has said Ndombele, Dan Cougs has said Højbjerg, Ohio has said, remind me, Ohio? You're mine. Tobias. And Sai has said Aubameyang. Fair enough. I mean, this is Spurs versus Arsenal. Guys, have their shame. Leave it at the door. and just come in to get these agendas off.
Guys,
I think
guys will say all this stuff. Guys will say all this stuff about Aubameyang outscoring Kane and all of this stuff in injury hit seasons and all of this malarkey. It's like,
playing
come on,
from the
bro.
left wing. So
leave it
since
out.
Oba's come to the Prem, he's outscored Kane. Is that right?
I mean, Kane has literally been on the physio bed for 2 seasons.
No. Do you want to answer the question? Sorry, I'm sorry. Did I stutter or something? There was a question mark after my statement. There was a
So we
question.
can make caveats for Partey.
No, I'm asking you a question. I've asked a question.
Leave it out.
So what? There's no one want to answer. There's no one want to answer
without evidence.
No, I would like you to answer the question that's been put to you.
But it's not like the answer is yes, but it's not yes.
Right, thank you.
You can say thank you, but there's also caveats. Like if you want to pretend it has nothing to do with his injuries, that's okay. We can move on.
Okay.
You could say that about a million players.
Maybe he should stay fit. Maybe he should stay fit. Like what?
I'd be
That's how the human body works. That's how the human body works.
Oh, some players are better at looking after their body than others.
That's how the human body works. Yeah.
Okay, so listen. So we're talking about some people are chatting shit in the comments. Some people have saying Kane has outscored Aubameyang the last 2 seasons. I was talking about how the human body works. Lewis is just getting this shit off because it's Lewis and he's gonna eat regardless. Arsenal good, Arsenal shit. Lewis is gonna make sure he's putting bodies on the bench. And hires my guy. So let's actually pull this together. So Harry Kane, he's got 26 goals in the last 37 games, 2020-21, and he's got 24 goals in the last season. He got 24 goals in 34 games. So what that shapes up to be is, let me do my maths, that's 71 games.
What are we comparing?
Just goals across competitions the last 2 seasons, yeah?
Oh, I did say Premier League, but fair enough. If you want to do that.
No, you didn't.
I said, has Aubameyang outscored Kane since he's come into the Premier League?
No.
Yeah, but you said
when did Aubameyang
come into the Premier League? Him being in the Premier League means putting on an Arsenal shirt. Come on, man. You can't spin a spinner.
The comment said, Mariah, the last 2 seasons, the 2 seasons before this season, Aubameyang has outscored Kane. That was what the comment said.
Okay, hold on. The last 2 seasons, not including this season, Aubameyang has 44 goals. The last 2 seasons, not including this season, Harry Kane has 35 goals. But let's give a bit more information. So Harry Kane has 35 goals, and he's played 29 plus 28, 30, 57, and Aubameyang has played 72. 72. So, we'll need to calculate it, boys, so the goal rate. So, the goal rate is the amount of goals scored divided by the amount of games that have been played. So, while we're chatting to ourselves, calculate.
Is this since Oba's come to the Premier League or over the last 2 seasons?
Last two seasons. Oba came to Premier League in January.
Why are you not calculating?
Let's give it a full body of work. What's the problem?
Why? What? So them goals are now irrelevant and unimportant?
No, Lewis, they're not irrelevant.
That's not how goals work, by the way.
Lewis.
I'm not being held accountable to a stat and that I didn't say. I didn't say for 2 years. I said since he joined.
So then I'd have to go on Wikipedia, and then that wouldn't give me the answers. Then
you wanted to do the research, big man. So you
have to go on transfer market. Then I'd have to go on transfer market and start searching the dates of goals Harry Kane scored.
Not my problem, brother.
I ain't got time for that. Do you know who? German Dan, you're in the chat. You're chatting shit. Oh well, you're not chatting shit because you're my guy. German Dan, you're in the chat. I want you to give me the goal rates of Aubameyang since he came up until the end of the 2019-20 season, and Harry Kane from since Aubameyang scored to the end of the 2019-20 season. While we go on to the next segment, and honestly, German Dan, you put that in the chat, I'll just take your word for it because you are an honourable brother. This is the final section. It's combined 11. Bodies have been bagged. Bodies have been bagged in combined 11. Bodies have not been bagged in combined 11. Listen, people are Mariah. Yeah, I've had a couple drinks. Listen, I'm on annual leave. So I'm going to do my thing. I'm literally going to do my thing. Listen, my boy Timmy asking what's in your club Maker's Mark. Come on. And Timmy, I need you to make sure you watch this again. Imagine Maker's Mark, but this is Las Olas, yeah? Imagine this is a bottle of Las Olas, because that's what we really fuck with. But don't worry about that. We're doing combined 11 now, yeah? So we've got the Spurs boys, we've got the Arsenal boys. First question is what formation?
4-2-3-1.
Yeah, go 4-2-3-1.
Fucking hell, in 2021, yeah?
Bruv, both teams play 4-2-3-1, man. Like, we got to keep it.
Innit? Watch a football game, alright? Fucking hell, man.
No, I'm asking you lot in 2021. If you want to do that, that's fine. One team is 7th, one team is 10th. The 4-2-3-1 makes more. It makes me understand why one is 7th and one is 10th. But if you want me to do 4-2-3-1, that's absolutely fine.
I've seen 4-2-3-1.
Ohio, are you guys happy with 4-2-3-1?
Let's go.
I'm happy to stick with it. I know why these guys have picked 4-2-3-1 because there's
so they can put Odegaard in
4-3-3. I've seen the full site, but it's fine. We'll stick with 4-2-3-1.
United played 4-2-3-1. Tom Leman 2. We're fucking shit. Sign up as a patron and you hear me tell you how shit we are regularly. But anyway, 4-2-3-1. Let's start. Goalkeepers. If it's a draw, Mario Balotelli is the tiebreaker. Sai, 4-2-3-1. Who's your goalkeeper?
All right. So those of you who tuned in, we gave Robbie Leno, but we're not playing nice with these, man. Lloris is the better keeper. Easy.
Guys, Sai saying Lloris. Dan Cougs, goalkeeper in 4-2-3-1.
Leno, he's clear to me. He's clear to me.
Okay.
I think both are good shot stoppers. Leno's better with his feet. Leno's better in the air. Simple.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. Lewis.
Well, you already know my answer. I think Lloris is one of the most overrated goalkeepers fucking in Premier League history. He's been gash for about 3-4 years. He's been absolutely terrible.
That's
cap. He's been
so
shit.
That's
he is
Leno.
rubbish. He makes so many mistakes, but because he plays for a little man club like Spurs, he never gets exposed. A little man club. Leno all day.
So you spent your time insulting Lloris rather than tell me who your pick was. So Leno. And Ohio, who's your pick?
I think both keepers have mistakes in them. But
some more than the other.
It's my turn, Lewis. Thank you. Both keepers have mistakes in them, but it has to be the World Cup winner, if I'm being honest.
Okay, great. So that's what we, in the old school language, you call that a tie. Listen, I'm putting Lloris very close to David De Gea. And if you listen to the podcast called Mugger, listen to that. TLF Mugger, Make United Great Again. I know it's the Spurs Arsenal chat, but check us out. I'm going to go with Leno as my starting keeper. Cool. So we'll start with right back. This time I'll go the other way. Ohio, starting right back, sir.
My starting right back, as much as I've been impressed with Cedric in recent weeks, it has to be Serge Aurier.
Serge Aurier. Lubob, who's your starting right back? No, look, and just before you answer, if you skip out shamelessness, this gets done a lot quicker. But anyway, who's your starting right back?
Who says I want this to be over quick?
Who says I don't want this to be over quick?
I'm
trying to get into.
I'm here for the long. I'm here for the long run, mate. I'll keep you lot here all night if I want to. I'm not a big fan of Aurier, but I think this season he's been really good. And he started to become the right back that I thought he was. When Spurs signed Aurier, I was very envious of that signing. One of the few signings I'm actually envious of about Spurs getting. So yeah, he's starting to look a bit like the right back that I thought he was. Still got, until he can do it over a few seasons, I think the jury's still out on him. But we're not exactly blessed with great right backs. So yeah, I would be choosing Aurier.
Sergio Aurier, okay. Dan Cougs.
Yeah, we'll give it Aurier. That's fine. We ain't got a right back to mention, man. It's calm.
That's fine. So that's already 3 out of 4. But just to confirm, Sai, who's your right back choice, sir?
Serge
Aurier. So we got Serge Aurier at right back, and now we're gonna do. I want the centre back pairing, not just one and trying to play the numbers game. The pairing again. I'll start with you, Sai. Who's your centre back pairing?
Gabriel and Toby. One because our partnership is still not it. So Gabriel and Toby.
Cool. Dan Cougs, so your centre back pairing.
I'll go Gabriel and Pablo Mari for my centre back pairing.
Okay, Lewis, centre back pairing.
Yeah, I think the same. Gabriel and Pablo Mari. I don't like any of Spurs centre backs. Toby used to be amazing. I used to love Toby. I thought he was a fantastic centre back. I think the last few seasons he's really, he's fallen off a cliff a bit. I think so. Defensively, Arsenal are pretty good. We're pretty good. We make some fuck ups through some individual errors, but it's not really to do with the defenders per se. And our centre backs this season have all been really good. To be fair, I could have picked one of 4, and I don't even like half of them.
What's your centre back pairing?
Yeah, I've already said it. I've already said Gabriel Murray.
Okay, cool. Ohio, what's your centre back pairing?
Jordan Weeks took my joke. I was going to say Rodon and Rob Holding, but obviously not. It's Gabriel and Toby.
Okay, so Gabriel definitely starts. I've got 2 for Toby. I've got 1 for Pablo Mari. Who was yours, Lucy? Say Pablo Mari as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go Toby Alderweireld, to be honest. So, yeah, but we'll go with that. This next one is spicy because this is you're talking 2 positions where both sides are strong. Be honourable. And I know Lewis, and I've known Lewis for almost a decade, so I know already who Lewis is picking. So Lewis will be the last one I come to. But left back, I'll start with you this time, Dan Cougs. Who's your left back starting in the combined 11 and why, sir?
Kieran Tierney, man. I don't think you can look past this guy. I do rate Reguilon. I think that was a very good signing for Spurs, but for me, Tierney's slightly, but he's better than him. I think just the leadership and the ownership that he takes of that whole left side, he can't be excused. The fact that he's able to, sort of put the Arsenal attack on his shoulders as well. These men will talk to you about, assists, this, that, and the other. But playing in a worse team, without the finishers this season, he's got more expected assists than Reguilon. Playing centre back as well this season.
Hold on. You mentioned
in theory.
You mentioned
he has more assists in theory.
You mentioned expected assists. Yeah. Let me finish. You mentioned expected assists. Yeah. I have, I've watched football for long enough. I'm not going to reveal my age, but there's a certain player played for Liverpool, idea ball. So is expected assists in the same ballpark as idea ball?
No, that's not an idea ball.
It's not the same. It's not the same. And do you want to know why? Because assist, you still require someone else to put the ball in the net. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why I said expected assists. Because if you want to chuck up assists there, you have 2 of the best finishers in the league in Kane and Son. So if someone's put in a half a chance in there, those guys are gobbling it up, and you're taking that. Oh yeah, an assist. Assists are not the same, bro. Assists are not the same. So that's why I said expected assists, because Kieran Tierney is more creative, creates more chances, creates more shot creating actions, but because we've been profligate, he doesn't have those numbers. So that's why I said that.
Have you also looked at minutes played to back up all of those numbers?
Yeah, per night, Kieran Tierney is better.
Don't do per 90s, because again, you have to accumulate.
Kieran Tierney's played half the season as centre back. So now
what we're not gonna do is get messy. So Dan Cougs said Tierney. Lewis, who did you say? Have I asked you?
No, you ain't asked me yet, brother.
Who did I ask before Dan Cougs?
So Ohio.
Ohio said Reguilon.
I haven't answered, but
I went first. Mariah, man, you're
Mariah is drunk.
Every time I fucking have to throw this up. Imagine this is a last bottle, but it's not. Yeah, cool. That's what I'm on. So Dan Cougs went first, and he said Kieran Tierney. I will go to Ohio because naturally, that's what I'm going to. Ohio starting left back. Why?
Reguilon, I think we are a completely different prospect when Reguilon's playing. Like I think he's unbelievable, and I think Madrid would be silly to try not to get him back. Touchwood, not trying to speak that into existence, because I think Reguilon's quite enjoying his time. I appreciate that Tierney may well have more expected assists, but that is probably because this is what alcohol is. Oh my god! the main reason Tierney probably has more expected assists because Arsenal went through this phase where you couldn't attack down the middle, and even when he was playing left centre back, he played in a way where he was in that half space and just whipping it in, and nobody could finish. So if you're spam crossing from left back all the time and no one score, of course your expected assist is going to be higher. So I don't really think that should be a caveat in this conversation. But that is why I've chosen Sergio Reguilon.
No. The good thing about expected assists, right, is that it measures the quality of the chance that you create. Right.
And that means so if you so that's, and I like you said that. So if you have a cross that is just, for example, we'll say 0.12, right? If you spam that 10 times, it now becomes what? 1.2. So your expected assists are going to be higher. It's just that they were still shit crosses.
So what you're telling crosses. Yeah, that's just not accurate.
What it is.
Fucking hell, that brother's starving.
Because it's
Dan Coogs has said Tierney. Ohio has said Region. Sai, who's your starting left back?
Why is it going to Sai?
I'm not with.
You know why it's going to Sai, Lewis? Because I want to chat shit when you go last. Is that all right? Fuck you now, go on, Sai. Fuck you now, I've got to explain myself to a man I've known for like
Mariah is finished, mate.
Go on, Sai, man. Go on, Sai.
I'm not with all this shoulda, woulda, coulda assist numbers, man. Like, Reguilon's got 5 assists. How many does Tierney have in it? Come on, man. Let's leave that out.
How many goals?
Reguilon. Doesn't Tierney have like 1 Premier League goal, man? Stop it. Don't rehash. Don't rehash Robbie's content. Don't do that. That's shameless.
It's not shameless. It's not shameless.
Do that.
I'm
shameless.
spitting facts.
Well, we can't talk about goals because Robbie talked about goals.
Can't talk about goals because he's a fucking left back.
Yeah, we don't listen. Man, I'm talking about goals from left back.
He's a left back.
Man, I'm talking about goals expected assists. Man, I'm talking about goals expected assists from left back.
1 goal and expected assist.
You're going with Reguilon, right?
Yeah, man. Let's get the spicy guy in there.
Okay, Lewis, who is your left back?
Oh, yeah, it has to be Kieran Tierney. I think he's a better player offensively and defensively. I don't want to get into stats. We could be here all day talking about stats. I think both sides have said assists, expected assists. I think they both matter. But I think if we're just looking at the pure left back, who is the better left back, I think Kieran Tierney has been, for my money, he's been the best left back in the Premier League this season. So always going to be Kieran Tierney for me.
Questionable. I support Manchester United. I also did a touchline fight card. Mush chose Shaw over Tierney. No, let me finish. Mush chose Shaw over Tierney, and Dan Coogs and Lou Bob ascended on him. Since then, plethora of assists, XA, expected assists, and he got to grab the goal against City, a team that hasn't lost in 21 games, actually won 21 straight. But that's neither here nor there. So we've got 2-2 for each left back. You're asking Mario, shout out, make him up. You're asking Mario.
You actually need some water, bro. Like, what's going on?
Nah, I don't, I really don't. You're asking Mario, who is his starting left back? I'll go Tierney.
We'll have that.
I'll go
Thank
Tierney.
you, Mario.
Cool.
Thank you.
So now we're talking double pivots. I'm going to go to my boy Sai. No, you know what? If I said one and then made you lot go around and you lot start insulting each other, that'll be long. Who's your double pivot? Combined 11.
This one's easy, and anything different is a disrespect as far as I'm concerned. It's Tongi and Partey, even though this weekend Partey's going to be spinning like a Beyblade, spinning vertigo, all them thing there.
Wow.
That's the double.
Why is I doing dirty wine on the fight card? I don't get
it. you do it. You do it. You might lose some hair though. Spin too far.
Let's come on. We're not discussing hairlines. We're brothers here, man. So Sai said he's going Tango and Partey. I'm gonna go to Lewis. Your double pivot, sir.
So is this for 90 minutes? Yeah.
Oh,
ideally.
I mean, no one's getting in.
Can I bring someone on after 60 minutes?
Yeah, okay. I mean, you can if you want, but yeah, honestly, who's your double pivot?
I think it's tough. I think it is tough because, Ndombele is good, but I can't trust him for the whole 90 minutes. And, I think it's quite close between Ndombele and Ceballos. I think Ndombele edges it in terms of like natural ability. So I'll go Ndombele and Partey.
Okay, cool. Lewis playing his playing his numbers. I love you, Lewis, man. Your numbers, man. Lou Bob in the corner. If you're not following that already, follow that. If you haven't liked this, just 60 or 70 odd people in this, like this live. Ohio, what's your double pivot, sir?
It's the same as the previous. I don't know where this Ndombele and Ceballos being tight thing is close, but yeah, it has to be Ndombele and Partey. The commentators will have a tough time not saying pace and power when they're playing, but it has to be Ndombele and Partey, obviously.
Ndombele and Partey. Cool. And Dan Cougs, what's your double pivot, sir?
Yeah. I'll go with the party line and Ndombele Partey.
Ndombele Partey. So yeah, we've got 1-on-1. Cool. So now we've got the three behind the front man. So I honestly want to do all three at once, but honestly, there's bare shits going on. Got signed the Spurs kit, you got Ohio in the do-rag, you got Dan Cougs in the retro gin, you got Lewis with a receding hairline. So I've got to go one at a time.
We weren't talking about hairlines anymore.
Got to do one at like, I don't know. What do you think of mine? Yeah, it's all right. It's decent, man. Cool. Neither there nor here nor there. We're going to do each position of the three behind the striker at a time. So right hand side.
We haven't done the other centre midfielder.
We did 4-2-3-1. So, you know why it's crazy? Because somebody said 4-2-3-1. I said 2021, and then I asked you all, and you all agreed. And now Lewis has already forgot.
No, you said we could do the three forwards. We haven't done the other.
4, 2, 3, 3. So 3 behind the main man.
Okay.
That helps.
Okay.
Listen, Lewis, come on. We're bros, man. Don't do this, man. Cool.
Right, I'll just clarify, Mariah. Not to do your job for you.
I respect you, brother. That's all that matters. So we're gonna start on the right hand side, and we're gonna start with who haven't I started with? I feel like I haven't started with Ohio. Listen, do-rag, white t-shirt, looking clean. Got bodied by Robbie, so it's right that I start with him. Ohio, who you started with on the right hand side?
On the right hand side, I can't even try and run agenda. You know, I think it has to be Bukayo Saka.
This is why I respect you, Ohio. Lewis will say an Arsenal player who's been shit all season. You've got class. So Ohio said Bukayo Saka. From Ohio, I'm going to go to Nigerian Dan, who actually pronounces his name Ohio. Interesting, isn't it? But German.
That's the OG pronunciation, man. That's the OG pronunciation.
Listen, 2012, Ohio told me 2012. It's been Ohio since. But German Dan, who's trying to get in? What are you trying to get into, man? Who the fuck? Why do I keep calling you German Dan?
Bro, like Mariah, you're burst. You know that.
Burst.
It's crazy.
What is that? Maker's Mark. I'll note that one down.
It's a great advert. It's a great advert.
You not been drinking alcohol? That's great. You've been drinking.
That's crate. Yeah, that's crate. You've been drinking it by the crate, basically. Yeah.
All right, listen, bourbon. You got to go Maker's Mark, but I digress. Dan Cougs, who's your starting right hand?
Yeah, it's got to be Bukayo Saka, man. Bukayo Saka. In terms of right forwards for both teams, he's the only standout for me, to be honest. I'm not counting Gareth Bale's goals against bums in Europa League and whatnot. That we don't care about all of that, man. Saka all the way.
Okay, cool. And I'm gonna go with you, Sai. You can either listen. I'm not gonna add any preamble. Who's starting on the right hand side?
No. Add your preamble. I like that. Go on.
You can either go honourable, which I know you to be, or you can keep it going.
The worst thing is though is when we do up honourable, the guy behind Harry Kane is going to be dead food.
Like, good point.
It's genuinely going to be dead
maybe
food.
from your lot, not from us. Maybe it's just between your own players.
Because as far as I'm concerned, that's like comparing a guy that's had maybe a couple of good games versus another guy that's only had a couple of good games.
Well, that's what
we are where we are, man. We are where we are. Good answer, son.
Mariah, before Sai answers, am I locked in by any chance?
Yes, you are.
You're locked in.
You are locked in. Ohio,
I've never heard.
What's all this about? Come on, man.
Ohio, don't do this, bro.
I just had to check.
Ohio is getting swung by the comments.
I'm a person that I have my opinion. I also listen to the people I take in, because Dan, I believe about maybe an hour ago, you said it would not be right if you had an opinion and then based on new information, you didn't change said opinion. That was what Mr. Dan Cook said. So I was just checking.
Okay. Hold on. I'll let Sai vote, then I'll come back to you, Ohio. Listen,
Okay.
Ohio, after your vote, I put you on a pedestal. Just keep that in mind. But I'll go to Sai. Who's your starting right hand side?
So I am Mr. Keep the Same Energy, and I firmly believe this man will go lovey-dovey on your head top.
Okay.
Welsh Mafia, Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale. Okay. Spicy. Now back to Ohio. You said Bukayo Saka to start with. Do you want to change your opinion?
So I believe Bukayo
Listen, Ohio, before you answer, honor is
his integrity is on the line right now.
Honor is a very rare trait in the Touchline Media Group. There's winning this fight card. There's winning the bigger battle of being an honorable man, and then there's an actual game. Like whatever you say on this fight card has no impact on the game. Now, give me your answer.
I believe if people on my screen right now can get away with saying Iwobi's better than Rashford, I can get away with changing my mind. I think that Saka should absolutely be starting, but upon further information, as we haven't got to the 10 position yet. But I believe that the remontada himself, Gareth Bale, should probably start on the right hand side.
God, okay, so you've gone Gareth Bale. Lewis, you're going out really now.
The desperatism from these Spurs lot is embarrassing.
What? Sorry, what word was that?
They were talking about embarrassing earlier.
Lewis,
look what they just done.
Lewis, what word did you use at the beginning?
The desperatism.
That's not a word. Carry on, though.
It's not a word.
It's not a word. Carry on, though.
Thank you, dictionary.
You're very welcome.
The desperation, then the desperation.
Despotism. Because when I typed in despotism, I got something like despot. So yeah.
Okay, well, fair enough. I've been using it all my life.
Okay,
but
cool,
yeah, go on, Rod. You do what you got to do. It's Saka.
Look, you say Saka, yeah. So we've got Saka against Gareth Bale. We've got a body of work that is the whole season against a guy who decided to show up for 3 weeks. Come on. Higher, why are you making me have to do this?
Because Sai said the same thing. Because I know who them going to want to put as 10, and the same instance applies. But we'll get there.
I've got to go Bukayo Saka. I'd be a liar if I went any other way. So Bukayo Saka on the right hand side. Now we've got the man behind the front fan. I'll start with Lewis this time. Lewis, who are you playing behind the front man, brother?
I mean, it can only be one person, right? It can only be Martin Ødegaard. I think we could have maybe two in the conversation, I guess, with Smith Rowe. But personally, I think Ødegaard's been the best 10 out of the bunch from across both teams. So yeah.
Lewis going Ødegaard, that's absolutely fine. Sai, who's your starting 10, sir?
So Ødegaard has played 7-8 games, something like that, something silly like that. Not very many. So I'm actually going to throw a curveball in here, and I don't even like this guy, but production is production, isn't it? Lucas Moura, 9 goals, 5 assists. Easy money.
Lucas Moura, that's interesting. He tries to play as if he's one-on-one with a player constantly.
100%. He plays like the juggernaut.
He really does. And from that, I'll go to Dan Cougs. Who's your starting 10? I feel your hand is almost forced because of what Lou Bob has done, based on a player who joined in January and while he's been solid, only actually did something yesterday. So who's your starting 10?
Yeah, I mean, I would have gone with Smith Rowe for me personally, but I feel like Lucas Moura, he's played 3 games? He's played even less time in 10 than Ødegaard, to be honest. So you're talking about 9 goals, 5 assists from the right. He's not got that from 10. He's not got that from 10 at all. So it doesn't matter because we're talking about.
He played the 10 in the last game.
That's what I said. He played 3 games. He's played 3 games at number 10. So there's no way that you can put Lucas Moura in this team at number 10. So I'm going Martin Ødegaard, man. Simple.
Oh no, God. MO10 again. You're in another MO10 era. Higher. I come to you because you're a gentleman. Also, you're wearing a do-rag. Who is your number 10, sir?
Just for clarity, Dan said Lucas can't be at 10 because he's only played there 3 times. When I believe is Martin Odegaard, has he only started 3 times? Is that it? I'm just asking a question.
He's played 9 games. 9 games.
Answer his question.
Answer what I asked, please. How many games has he started at 10?
Well, I'll have to research that still.
Okay, because
I think the number's 3.
In the Premier League, I'm talking in the Prem.
I'm talking in the Prem.
Okay, in the Prem, yeah. Maybe it's like 3. Yeah, it might be like 3 times. Yeah,
it is 3. I just wanted to double check.
Okay, it's more rule comps.
Well, I'm asking about the Prem.
You did. If you want to get into semantics, you didn't actually state Prem in your first. In your first statement. So.
And then I was asked. I actually asked a question, not a statement. Come on, man. A levels. Come on. So. I think what is going to be here, I'm going to have to go. I don't particularly rate Lucas Moura as a player. I feel like the way he operates as a 10 suits us very well. He takes a lot of the pressing duty of Harry Kane. He's very, very, very intense. As in, I really wouldn't like to play against him. So I am going to have to pick the bonehead himself, the Brazilian bonehead, Lucas Moura.
Brilliant bonehead. Throw your L's up. Come on, man. The guy got some goals in the Champions. Throw your L's up. The guy got some goals in the Champions League semi-final. You're still talking about it to today.
This is getting very embarrassing.
Lewis, who's your 10?
You've already asked me, bro. I said Odegaard. That was first.
Oh, wow. Mad thing. So everyone's answered, yeah? So it's me, Odegaard versus Lucas Moura. Fucking hell. Listen, playing the number 10 role, there's no fucking way I'm going to pick Lucas. There's no way I'm fucking going to pick Lucas over Odegaard.
All right, so let me put a challenge out there.
Despite the fact that I boxed down 45% volume alcohol and making this is premium bourbon. Sai, you said you want to say something. Try a reason with me, brother.
So if we're talking about sample of evidence, obviously the chat has spoken and they've said Gareth Bale can play the 10. If we go off of that basis,
how many times? No, stop this. How many times these men going to try to change their answers?
I ain't got all night, lads. I ain't got all night.
I'm not trying to change it.
You just said Lewis, literally earlier you said you've got all night.
I ain't got all night anymore.
He quite literally.
This is too much flip-flopping. These man, they see they're going to lose. They try to change their answer, man. Right, let's keep some.
I know what you do. Do you not change tactics when it's not?
No.
Let's keep some order here.
When we have new information.
I allowed Ohio to do it first time because I like Ohio. And he's a classy guy and we chat. Offline. I'm not going to let you guys do it again. Once you make a decision, it's locked. So, Sai, based on Odegaard versus Lucas, convince me, brother. Because, listen, you know me. I hate Bruno Fernandes. So, explain to me why I should pick Lucas over Odegaard.
100%. I'm with you on the Bruno stuff. That low efficiency, high volume bullshit. I'm not with it. But when it comes to production 4 and 11, I'm always going to take a guy who, even when he's playing from the right-hand side, for better or for worse, runs into central positions. And he's running off of Harry Kane, who doesn't play as a traditional number 9. So, for all intents and purposes, the amount of time that Lucas is going to spend in the box, that is going to be a more productive side.
So Lucas Moura in the team. Like Liverpool, man. 5 subs in that, man. Get out of here, man. It's done.
See, you can't argue with facts. Your guy has played 3 games. He's played 3 games. It's not a big enough sample of evidence to suggest that he deserves to be in.
Who's the better player, sir? Come on. Who's the better player? Come on.
But then on that notion, Gareth Bale is a better player than Saka.
He's not.
Of course he is.
No, he's not.
Of course he is. His catalogue over the course of his career.
He is not.
That's
silly. He literally isn't. We see what Bauer's on.
That's silly. That's absolutely
ridiculous. Sai. Listen, I hear you fully, but we're talking number 10s. I cannot, in my right mind, out of my right mind, because you know I've been doing my thing. Out of my right mind, there's no way my mind can contrive to put Lucas Moura in the number 10 role. Listen, it could be fucking Odegaard, it could be fucking Lewis, it could be Sebi, it could be Timmy, it could be Tapping Tobes, but there's no way that fucking Lucas is starting number. Listen, this guy plays number 10 as if he's on the wing constantly. I was on Discord last night with Tap Into.
Fluid front four, man.
He constantly tries to run into players one-on-one, regardless of situation.
7 assists in Mora's Premier League career. Seven assists. Willian's got 7 assists this season.
I don't
might as well put Willian involved. Might as well get Willian involved.
No, we're not gonna get into the semantics. We're not gonna get into the semantics. We're not gonna get into some.
Oh, you're muted, brother.
I love football, yeah. And as it is, I cannot have Lucas playing as my number 10. That's not football. Ohio side.
It's not football.
I don't like it either. But the game is the game, man.
It's the game. I've got to go with Odegaard. That's number 10. So now we're on the left-sided attacker. Can we make it Lewis, Dan Cougs, please? Have someone make it quick. I'll start with you, Lewis. Who's your left-sided attacker?
Aubameyang, the guy who scored the most Premier League goals since he's been here.
Oh wait, hold on, wait.
Oh, look at this shit, man.
Wait.
The thing is in. Oh,
wait. Just before we carry on, this is Lewis can say what he wants. That's fine. So I remember we did the whole, we're gonna do the whole body of work since the first game of Aubameyang scored, and we were gonna do goals per 90 and all of that stuff. That was gonna be the kicker, right? The goals per 90, including every single game since Aubameyang scored. Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to ask because I've got it. We'll do that at the end.
Cool. Okay, it doesn't mean anything.
Aubameyang for me. Lewis said, "Fuck you, Aubameyang." Sai, who's starting your left side attacker?
Heung-min Son, man.
Thank you, man.
You got to send Lewis to Son's dad to make him do some fucking push-ups. That was disgusting.
Yeah. Lewis. It's Lewis, isn't it? Dan Cougs, listen, I'll be honest. You can either make this go longer than it needs to, or you can be a man of honor. Who's your left side attacker?
Let's just do we can do the last two positions, man. Son and Kane. It's calm.
So who's your left side attacker?
Son.
Why is Son getting in over Aubameyang?
And then Ohio, who's your left side attacker?
Heung-min Son,
cool. So we got a 4-2-3-1. Let's go through the team up until now. Leno in goal. Aurier right back. So that is 2 to Spurs. We've got a centre back partnership of Alderweireld and Gabriel. So that's 3-1 to Spurs. Left back is turned
2-2. We got the keeper.
Yeah, we got the keeper.
Mazine, fucking shout out Maker's Mark, man. Left back is Tierney, so that's 3-3. Double pivot is Partey and who? Højbjerg. Undom, 4-4. Right side is Saka, 5-4. In the middle, Odegaard, 6-4. 6-4, right?
Yes.
It was 6-3.
6-3, but we've got two positions there. 6-3. Yeah. Left side attacker, Son, Heung-min Son. And the winners already been decided. But let's go with the striker and let's talk managers. So the striker, come on, let's make it quick. Who's up top?
Kane.
Oba.
But you want him left wing and up top, yeah.
Oba needs to be in the side, like regardless, wherever he plays, Oba needs to be in the side. He's scored the most Premier League goals since he's joined the league. He needs to be in the team. Like that's it.
And Gareth Bale has scored more career goals than Bukayo Saka, but he doesn't make it in the team because he's not better. He's not won Champions League.
You chose Saka. I don't know why you're arguing with me, brother. You chose Saka. You chose Saka.
Leave it out. It's redundant points.
It's not my fault you chose Saka, but it's not my fault you chose Saka.
It's silly.
It's not silly. What goals are silly?
It is absolutely ridiculous.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
Maybe if you say so.
Cool. So come on. I'm not even gonna ask around. It's Harry Kane up top. So that's 6-5 the Gooners, the Touchy Gooners. Shout out Touchy Gooners. If you haven't listened to that podcast. Listen to that podcast if you haven't listened. We're Touchline Fracker. That's Touchline Fracker on Twitter, Touchline Fracker on Instagram. Follow us. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you listen to the podcast. That's 6-5 to the Arsenal lads. But you know what, Arsenal have won, but I want to have a conversation about our managers. So we've got Jose Mourinho. We're talking football heritage. We're talking Champions League. We're talking league titles. We're talking about 2/3 of a decade without a home loss. Then we're talking Mikel Arteta put out cones for Arteta. We're talking he played for Everton. We're talking about he came through, put out cones for
not
Pep.
cake, Pep cones. Yeah,
Yeah, we took it. You put out cones for Pep. We're talking about he came through La Masia, but didn't actually do anything at Barcelona. If you had to have a manager navigate the game against you guys, who do you pick and why? I'll start with you, Ohio. Mourinho or Arteta, who do you pick to navigate that game for you or the game for you and why?
Navigate the game for me. So, you know, like I said on previous Touchline Hotspur pods, I've never been a big Jose fan in recent times. I think over a season, I think it's a guaranteed implosion after 3 years. But he knows how to win one-offs. He knows how to set up a team. Doesn't always get it right, but he gets it right more often than not. And do I trust him to beat Arsenal in a one-off game? Absolutely, because he has. It might have been a while, but you know, that's his pedigree. Do you know what I'm saying? So it has to be
calm. So you're going Jose. Fuck, you know, Danku, background changed up. Mad thing. Danku, so one game, you're picking a winner. Who's your manager? Danku? Why, please?
Why? Because I'm gonna go Mikel Arteta for this one. I think, you know, as much as you know, I'm not his biggest fan. I'm even less of a fan of Jose Mourinho. You know, I think if you look at the big games,
hold on. Shout out Dan Cook's cabinet.
If you look at Arteta in the big games, you know, I think you know, Spurs are actually the last team that he's got left to beat out of all of the big six teams. You know, he's beaten Leicester, he's beaten United, beaten Man City, beaten Liverpool multiple times as well. You know, so if I'm looking at it, who is the modern coach? Who do I trust more to pick up points in a league game against a big team? Then it's currently Mikel Arteta. You know, all of the other things that people have to say about him, I don't think any of them are actually to do with his coaching. They're to do with his, you know, sort of his man management, favoritism, those kind of things. If I look at the way Jose Mourinho sets up in a big game, it's archaic. You know, sit back, soak up pressure, and try and hit teams on the counter. You know, we watched that this season, and it's not really paid off for Spurs, to be fair. So for me, it's Arteta all day long.
Cool. So we got one for Jose, we got one for Arteta. I'm gonna go to you, Sai. That game Sunday, you need somebody to navigate your team to the win. Arteta or Jose, and what?
I don't like dinosaurs. Barney the dinosaur, Jurassic Park, not my steez. But I'll make an exception on this occasion because Jose Mourinho will steer us over the line against these men. So it's Jose.
Jose. Lewis. Sunday's game. You got the teams you got. You need to win a game. Who's your manager?
I'm never, ever having Jose Mourinho as my football manager. I don't give a shit about one-off games, one-off seasons. Jose is never managing my club. So, Arteta.
Cool. So, 6-5. We're chalking managers. I mean, the discussion is now tied. I can pick Jose and make it 6-6, so I can pick Arteta and make it 7-5. You've got teams I've got.
When do we use managers to dictate the scores? No, we haven't. We've never done that before.
Yeah, I think we've never. You asked when. I said,
the mad thing, you've never done that before. But honestly, have you been on a fight card with a guy who's been drinking Maker's Mark for 3 hours? No, you haven't. So you add that into the context.
Well,
so I need to win a game on Sunday. I've got Arsenal's players. I've got Spurs' players. Jose Mourinho absolutely fucking dusted. Yeah, it's got to be Arteta. As much as I find him hilarious and find the fact that his rating is based on the fact that he handed out cones for a guy who had Lionel Messi on his side, it's got to be Arteta. We're going forward. We're not going backwards. Jose Mourinho, best days are behind him, and with my vote, that makes it 7-5. That's Arsenal versus Spurs.
Pretty convincing, really, isn't it?
It doesn't actually fucking matter in the grand scheme of things because we got a game to watch on Sunday. If you're not there, you're going to be square. It's the Discord live. You're going to have Lewis there. You're going to have Sai there. You're going to have Dan Cooj. You're going to have Ohio to his friends before 2012. You're going to have me there. You know what? this bottle's finished. I have to get another bottle.
Are we doing? Are we
Bring a
doing
bottle of
predictions?
water for the Discord.
Oh, fucking hell, predictions. You lot do predictions. I need to pee. So yeah, just do that among yourselves. Yeah. Yeah. Predictions. Lewis first, then Ohio, then Dan Cougs, and then maybe I'll be back. So yeah, cool.
Predictions. Okay, so I think the first goal is going to be really important in this game. I spoke about it in our Patreon piece today, just talking briefly ahead of the game against Spurs. I think the first goal is going to be really important because both teams don't chase games very well. We've got Spurs who have only won 2 games when they've gone behind I think out of 10. Yeah, 2 out of 10 games that they've gone in behind. And Arsenal have only won 2 out of 12 that they've gone behind in. So both are teams that essentially, as soon as they concede a goal, it's good night. So the first goal is going to be really important. Who do I back to get that first goal? I think I back us at the moment because I think we're playing good stuff and we're playing good stuff to start. So I think we're going to put you guys under a lot of pressure in the beginning of the game, and I think we should be able to score early. And if we score early, I'm not really trusting Spurs to do us too much damage. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Arsenal.
Side, you want it?
No, you go first, brother.
Yeah. Being real, we haven't won at the Emirates in 10, 11 years, which isn't to be sniffed at in the Prem, which isn't to be sniffed at. But, nostalgia aside, there is one guy. Nostalgia aside, there's one guy that played the last time we won at the Emirates in the league, and his name is Gareth Bale. I think he's coming into form. I said ages ago on Touchline Hotspur, if he's ready for the business end of the season, that's what I care about. And I think it's every derby is a massive derby, but I think this one is going to be really, really important in terms of how the rest of our season goes. And I think Jose's going to set us up to do a job. He's just going to let HBK do their thing, to be honest. So I'm going to say 2-1 Spurs. Dan.
Fair. All right. I think Lewis makes some good points. I do think the whole not beating Arsenal at the Emirates and stuff, I don't think any of that counts for anything in this season with no fans and whatnot. You're seeing that famous Anfield atmosphere not helping Liverpool. We've gone to Old Trafford and won. Spurs have gone to Old Trafford and won. Places where they're notoriously bad at. So I think it's just going to be a straight 50-50 this match, and it doesn't really matter where it gets played. I think when we played you before, we weren't quite in the place that we are now, and I do think that we have the quality, coaching wise, to ensure that we play you off the park. I know Ndombele weren't missing this, that, and the other, but I feel like we're going to dominate that midfield battle. And hopefully this time we can put you guys to the sort, put chances away. I do think though, with the way we've been shooting ourselves in the foot the past few games, it's going to be very, very difficult to keep you guys out. So I'm not too optimistic about us getting a win. So I'm going to go 2-2.
Who's
Right,
next?
my turn.
Yes, sir. Shout outside, man.
Yeah. So the fact that Arsenal are now in a position where they feel like they can be on the front foot, I think will play into our hands. I think we're best when we play on the counter. Son has been struggling the last few weeks. It's been padded out by the fact that Kane and Bale have started to strike up a bit of a partnership. Right, your eyes are killing me, bro. So I do feel like this will be the game where Son gets back on the score sheet early and potentially often. So I'm saying 3-1 Spurs.
Oh, fucking hell. Cool. So let's run through those because I wasn't here for most of them. Lewis, what was your prediction, sir?
2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. Ohio?
2-1 Spurs.
Dan Cougs?
2-2.
And Sai said 3-1 Spurs, yeah? honestly, like I've said all week, I can't predict it, honestly. Spurs, you lot have been shaky all season, but you have put in recent good results. Arsenal, you started poor, but you've been pretty good recently. And to be honest, the results probably haven't actually justified your performances. Who's at home on Sunday?
Arsenal.
I'm going to go Arsenal win. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal win. Harry Kane bags a goal. And for Arsenal, Aubameyang scores and some other random Ute scores as well. But yeah, 2-1 Arsenal. With that, I got to thank you lot for your time.
Thank you, Mariah.
Why are you thanking me, bro?
Just get cold flannel, my guy.
Honestly, ring light off, laptop off, straight to sleep.
Get home safe, yeah.
I'm absolutely knackered, mate. It's been a 60-hour week. But yeah, so we're going Arsenal win. Obviously, for those of you who are tuning into Discord, like the video. That goes without saying because that's Touchline. We are Touchline Media Group. But what time is the game start on Sunday?
4:30.
4:30.
So for those of you who want to watch, wait, what's funny? I was swallowing my drink as I was speaking. For those of you who want to watch the game, tune in. We got the Discord live. We'll post the Discord live link on the Touchline Twitter account. Lewis is going to be there, of course. Ohio's going to be there. Sai's going to be there. Dan Cruz is going to be there. If I can wake up, Mariah's going to be there. And we'll go from there. Listen, for me, strictly the blood of my enemies. Whoever loses. If you draw, I'm fucked because we're playing West Ham with absolutely nobody honourable playing up front. Lewis, thank you for your time this Friday evening. Ohio, thank you for your time. Send me a link to where you got that do-rag from. Sai, thank you for your time. Dan Cougs, people are saying you're flexing your yard on them by changing locations. I don't agree. I think Tobes has literally got a knife to you and he's around the house. That is what it is. This is Touchline Fight Card. We are here. You've got our club pods. Whenever there is a clash between two clubs on our club pods, we're going to have a fight card. Sign up to the Twitter, sign up to the Instagram, follow the podcasts, listen to them, give us your opinions, use the hashtag. I think I've given everything I've got to give.
Yeah, the patrons.
Fucking hell, Touchy Gooners Patreon. They must have 100. They must have a fucking 100 by now. To be honest with you, with the amount of content they put out, Touchline Hotspurs. You need to put out a Patreon, to be honest, because the work you lot are putting in at Touchline Hotspurs, they need to be paying you for that. So the Touchline Hotspurs Patreon is.
I think this is a good thing. I think this outro is never going to end.
The AC Milan podcast, and we've also got a reaction video to the Everton 3-3, which I had kept in the archives. I had not released that. I'm gonna release that this weekend.
Mariah just got on to hosting Mugger right now.
We also have the court of agenda. Bruno Fernandes, me against Bruno, Stevie, for Bruno, Elijah in the mixer. Shout out fucking Courtside Fracker, 50 episode last week. We had a midweek pod. You got Yash chatting a bag of shit about Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic, you don't even know who that is. Nikola Jokic, you don't even know who that is. Check that fucking shit out. Shout out German Dan in the chat. Shout out Owen.
And Ringside Fracas as well. Ringside Fracas as well.
Ringside fucking Fracas. You got Lewis. You got Leroy. You got Seb. You got Jide. You got Samson. Fucking Samson. You got when is fucking Anthony Joshua fighting Tyson Fury? That's what we fucking want to know. That's how I fucking got it, bro. Shout out Canelo. Shout out for fucking Mayweather. Shout out Muhammad fucking Ali. The fucking greatest. Shout out Mike Tyson, yeah, because I paid for a pay-per-view for Mike Tyson to fight Mike Tyson for
Pacquiao.
No, not Pacquiao. He fought fucking what's the other guy, man?
Pit Stop Fracas.
Fucking Pit Stop Fracas. Shout out Anik, man.
On that note, guys, Mariah doesn't know he's on mute.
Oh shit! The fucking sound went. Roy Jones Jr. Who fucking dominated the night. He's trying to make a bag of. He fucking beat. Well, he lost to Mike Tyson. Listen, what else do you fucking need? Touchline's got football, it's got basketball, it's got Formula One, it's got boxing. You got guys who know what they're talking about. You got guys who put in the work in. Shout out Harry for sending me that link about that Man United thing. We didn't mention it on Mugga because I wasn't on. You know the vibes. You got Dan Coop, shout him out. He's gonna fight Touchline Tobes after this live ends. Shout out Lewis. Listen, shout out Lewis because he's fucking. Shout out Lewis because the work rate is fucking nuts, man. He's on fucking Touchy Gooners. He's on fucking Touchline. He's on fucking Ringside. And the work that he does behind the scenes is fucking pivotal for everything that we've built towards to this day. 1%, top 1% of all podcasts. Shout out Sai, fucking Courtside and Touchline Hotspurs. And beyond that, I love him. So there's nothing more to say. I'm not gonna shout me out because you don't know.
I've actually got tears.
Get some sleep.
Hey,
shout out Lloyd in the comments. That's my bro all the way.
Shout out Mariah, man. Shout out
Lloyd in the comments because that's my bro all the way back from fucking.
Shout out Mariah and shout out that Burton.
Shout out Lloyd in the comments because that's my bro all the way from uni. And if I tell you what year that was, you don't know how old I am, and I don't really want you to know how old I am. I'm younger than I look, to be honest. So shout out Lockdown, shout out fucking Boris Johnson, shout out fucking Universal Pay, shout out fucking shout out Keir Stammer, and with that, really, who else is there left?
Rishi.
Shout out Rishi, who looks 6'2", but he's actually 5'7". Shout out Dan fucking Soft for all the work he's put in. Shout out fucking Lakers fucking Mark. Shout out fucking shout out Las Olas, man. That goes without saying. If you have not got a bottle of Yasola until now, you're fucking bugging. You are absolutely bugging. I'm going to shout out Ohio with the durag again because Ohio has not sent me the link yet. So I maybe need to mention it again so he makes sure he sends me that link. Shout out the girl who just texted me at fucking 10:24. And with that, I gotta go, lads. It's 10:24 on a Friday night, and I love you all. Come on,
I love you too, Mariah.
Yeah, hoes over bros, man. And with that, shout you out. See you on the Discord on Friday. I fucking love you all. I love what we've built up until now. Peace, man.
Bless us.